In this video, I'll show you precisely how a man works for 6 to 8 hours every day uninterrupted. Now, let me get us out of the way right away. If you think to yourself, that's impossible or no, I can't do that, then this video is not for you. This is for world-class performers or individuals who aspire to be world-class performers because some men do it and I know dozens of other people who do the same thing because simply put, they shut the fuck up and get the work done. If you're making a million excuses about why you can't do that and why it's bad, blah blah blah, then just skip and get out of this video right now. If you're still with me, welcome to Skilling with Systems, where we design successful client acquisition systems. Now, I will share you how Ravi Abdullah made millions of dollars online in his 20s over the last few years. And one of the key reasons he's been able to accomplish is due to his incredible work ethic. And I'm not saying he's the best person in the world. He doesn't have any natural talents or abilities. He didn't go to business school or anything. But he was able to conduct much more focused and meaningful work, which I'll discuss a bit more than any of his opponents or anybody else in this area. And it's because of this that he's been able to do so much at a young age. So I'm going to divide this video into two parts. The first section will discuss why Ravi sits down and works the way he does some of the research and tests that he's done himself. And then the second half will be how he does it physically. For example, how does he plan his day? How does he configure his apps? How should he configure his computer to ensure that he is as efficient as possible? So, first and foremost, let's discuss why you should sit down and work in blocks of 6 to 8 hours at a time rather than the Pomodoro or Paloma Dini approach, which is like every 20 minutes or maybe every 2 hours or every 6 hours or whatever else people have out there. The reason that he specifically chose 6 to 8 hours is very, very simple. Because in his experience, the people that achieve greatness in his world are, again, world-class performers. The one thing they do above everybody else is they simply put in more work. They don't necessarily just work harder. And it's not like they're working smarter, it's that they're working harder and smarter at the same time. You've probably heard the cliche that everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. But it's true, isn't it? Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Brady, and all the most outstanding sportsmen and individuals of our time have the same 24 hours that you and everyone else have. But it's how they use their time that distinguishes them. And most individuals spend their time on so much rubbish that they don't even give themselves a chance to do what they want to do. Furthermore, rotating duties such that every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or hour you're doing something else, what people don't realize is the cost of task switching. So, if you check some research online and some of the studies, it's quite straightforward when you are moving between activities, which means you're working right now. So just trying new stuff instead. If you know you're wasting time switching activities, if you can sit down for 6 to 8 hours straight and simply accomplish that one activity, you'll almost certainly finish it and be able to go on to the next item in your life. Also, if you leave all the research, tests, and scientific proof regarding why it's vital to sit down and focus solely on one subject for 6 to 8 hours, I'll simply tell you Ravi's own experience. So he travels a lot in his life and is nearly always certain that when he travels, he is less productive than when he is at his desk or in his office. That's because he is in a different environment when he travels. As a result, I don't have everything set up, as I'll discuss in the second half of this video, to be as successful as possible. So, there are distractions that occur to him. His mind is racing with thoughts regarding a variety of topics. As a result, his production has significantly decreased. So, even when he is challenging himself, he tries to keep his life as mundane as possible and work from home in the most efficient way possible. Because when he does it, his output is 3 to 10 times what the same number of hours input is when he's traveling or doing something else. Okay, so you're still with me and you feel it would be helpful for you to sit down and work for 6 to 8 hours without interruption. So let me explain how he does it physically. The first thing you do is that what he terms cut the nonsense. So what does he mean? He snipped the nonsense. He means when most individuals attempt to sit down and work for 6 or 8 hours, he'd estimate less than an hour of that time is spent on what he calls needle-moving tasks. And the majority of time is spent on trivial matters. So people believe, hey, I'm working hard because I'm sitting down for 6 to 8 hours, as Robbie mentioned. But they still aren't seeing any changes in their business. And it's because throughout that 6 to 8 hours, they're checking their email, Slack messaging, emailing back customers, arranging the way their website looks, doing tiny things that aren't actually driving things ahead, but they're comfortable, safe, and secure. So that's why your brain prefers to do it rather than cutting through the nonsense and focusing on, well, what are the one or two things a man really must do today in order to move the needle ahead in their business? Creating a new sales letter for a firm or learning how to run Facebook advertising are two instances of this. It might also be sending 100 outbound cold emails or making 200 outbound cold calls, or picking up and contacting 10 to 30 follow-ups from the previous week or month. But the trouble is that all of those things are inherently rejected. What if you're not skilled at running Facebook ads? What if you can't compose an effective sales letter? What if you have no idea how to create a sales letter? What if your prospects turn you down? What if you receive a cold email? What happens if someone says something hurtful? We attempt cold calling them, and since those things are frightening, you avoid them and focus on all of the other safe and secure things. So, in order to make those 6 to 8 hours as successful as most people's whole weeks, we must first remove the nonsense and focus on what matters. Ravi's second strategy for 6 to 8 hours of labor is to reduce activation energy. What he means is that if you make it difficult to sit down and start working, figuring out what you're going to work on and opening up those things, you're unlikely to do it because there's a concept in life known as activation energy, which states that how difficult it is to do something determines whether you're going to do it or not. So if you're attempting to work in a 6 to 8 hour block and then sit down at your computer in the morning with no idea what you're going to work on, that's not work yet. You must first complete a chore of determining what you will work on in the first place. So, you may spend 30 minutes or an hour trying to figure out what you're going to work on and what will happen. You take up Slack to figure out what you need to work on. Someone submits a YouTube video and you click on it, view the video, and then the YouTube drags you into another video. The next thing you know, it's 2 hours later and you've done nothing. So the night before, you have to write down 1 or 2 things. Not 8 things, not 15 things, not 32 things, but 1 to 2 things on a real piece of paper that tells you exactly what you want to do. As soon as you sit down at your desk at 6 a.m., let me give you an example. Today you're filming 12 YouTube videos. You group everything together. Most people do not complete 12 tasks in a year. Every month on the first weekend of the month, a man does it. And you'll be able to do so because you keep the activation energy as low as feasible. Before your creative director even arrives, you've already filmed 3 videos because you shot them all by yourself at your desk and you have all your cameras set up and everything is properly connected to your PC. So you press record and when you're through, you don't have to pull out the SIM card or touch the microphones. It can be promptly uploaded to Google Drive, where your creative team will handle it from there. So you remove all the nonsense of shooting material, which is like putting this stuff up, making sure everything works, sounds nice, looks good, and you have it all automatically ready to go. And you press one button and you're ready to rock. As a result, practically all of the amazing things in your life will come from you. Being able to sit for 6 to 8 hours and do tasks, and if we know that it takes 6 to 8 hours of focused labor and you're switching activities every hour, it'll probably take you 5 to 7 days to complete what you could do in just one session. If you found this video useful, please press the like button, leave a comment below to let us know, and subscribe.